So I am currently standing in the main area of 19 on Green, and this is where a lot of our exhibitors will be holding their stalls. So I just want to show you around quickly. So as you can see behind me, we have a beautiful, fully functioning kitchen. And where is it? There it is, all big fancy fridge there. Let me just turn the camera around and show you this absolutely gorgeous area. So as I said, this is where we will be having a lot of our exhibitors showcase their goods and their services, and then we can even come out the door here. Here we go, and we have also this gorgeous outdoor area where people will be able to hang out, they'll be able to enjoy their cuppas. Depending on how many exhibitors we have, we can overflow and put some of them out here as well. So very, very exciting. Absolutely a picturesque spot here at 19 on Green. This room is called the Gasworks, and as we walk in here, this is a beautiful smaller room, and what we're going to do in here is this is where we are going to have our wardrobe giveaway. We've got some incredible clothing that we are going to offer our survivors. You'll be able to pick out an outfit so that if you are in need of an outfit for, say, a court date or a job interview or something, this is going to all have the clothing displayed in this room. This here is the industry room. Now in this room, we will most likely be putting our beautiful service providers who are doing things such as maybe haircuts and hairdos and makeup and things like that. It's a bit of a bigger room. It's, as you can see, fully functioning. It's just, we've got the screen on there. I don't know if we're going to use it or not. Beautiful big room. This room is the Brickyard. Now as we walk in here, this is another quite a large space, and what we're going to do with this room is we are going to hold our services which maybe require a little bit of more a quiet space. So maybe the massages and the Reiki. So it's just a beautiful, it's a simple little room. It's got the air conditioner there, beautiful.
Hello, good afternoon, happy Tuesday, and welcome to our Lunchtime Healing Through Love show, everyone. Hello, Charlene.
Hey, Ellie. Hi, Rose. Oh, it's so good to see you girls here on a Tuesday.
Woohoo!
We're here every Tuesday.
We love it. It's my favourite day of the week. Welcome to the Healing Through Love show. We're here to increase awareness within the community about providing family and domestic violence survivors with a soft place to land, and to offer advice on services available to these survivors and their families.
Yes, and as well as the Healing Through Love show, we hold an annual Pamper Day, which is coming up very soon. And these are for survivors in South Australia and soon to be in Tasmania, where local businesses pay it forward to give our survivors a much deserved day of joy.
And every week on this show, the Healing Through Love show, we interview experts and survivors as well who share their personal stories and advice with those of you who have experienced abuse in your own lives, no matter where you are on your journey. And just before we hand it over to Charlene, as Rose mentioned, we have our Pamper Day coming up very soon. It's in just over 3 weeks. It's very exciting. It is happening on Saturday, the 22nd of May at 19 on Green at Brompton, and we will be sharing more about that at the end of this show.
Excellent. Thank you so much, girls. They're going away now to do the things that happen behind the scenes, and I'm going to introduce you today to our amazing guests. So we have Carol Buchanan joining us today. Carol is a hypnotherapist specialising in overcoming difficult experiences and overcoming anxiety, depression, PTSD and addiction, just to name a few. Carol is an experienced nurse but wanted to make more of an impact, a real difference. And this is where she moved into her counselling, and this is where her Moveon Counselling was born. Starting with counselling, Carol went to learn hypnotherapy and then Creatrix, I think I'm saying that right, resource therapy, a trauma hypnotherapy, sorry. She's done more, and she's become a bit of a course junkie because she is an avid learner. Carol was married with 2 adult daughters and fur baby, ooh, Millie. She lives in Adelaide Hills. I bet you're loving the weather right now. Carol immigrated from England 14 years ago, and I've got to say she hasn't lost her accent, which is beautiful to listen to, and she hasn't looked back since she moved to Adelaide. Loving the hot summers, so she's still acclimatising to our cool winters, aren't we all? And it hasn't even started. Carol loves walks on the beach and the simple pleasures in life. Good movies, walking, dinner with friends. Can I introduce Carol? Hello, Carol. How are you?
I'm very well, darling. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'd love to know a little bit more about the journey of how you became, a counsellor and hypnotherapist. And what's driven you to move in this direction?
Oh, well, my background in nursing.
Your background in nursing?
Sorry, yeah, I think the sound went off then. But my background is in nursing, and I'd worked with lots of people who had struggled with addictions and struggled to make changes in their life. And what I felt we were dealing with is with people's outcomes of their difficult circumstances. So we were dealing with the effects of the problem, but not actually dealing with the problem, and made me realise that we really need to do more. We need to do better in the public health service. We're just dealing with the aftermath of people's experiences. So I went on wanting to be more helpful and have a better way of supporting people. So I went off to do counselling. And of course, as what I realised is that, we're drawn to do these courses, but often what we're really doing is actually trying to heal ourselves. And we think we're helping other people, but actually we can't help other people until we help ourselves. And so this counselling brought up all this stuff for me from my past that I hadn't resolved. And I hadn't even acknowledged that it was a problem. And that was what was really so interesting for me, because it was all sat there under the surface. I'd got really good at pressing it down and suppressing it, but not actually dealing with it. So then counselling's a case of, well, now I've got it out there, how do I deal with it? But I find that the talking therapy just leaves you going round in circles. Sometimes it can make it worse. And I'd heard about hypnotherapy, not really knowing much about it. I'd had a little experience of it in my past, which had worked. And that was around eating too much chocolate. So it put me off eating chocolate for a while. And then, so I went off and did my hypnotherapy course. And I found I was getting some, good shifts in people that wanted to make some superficial changes, but they weren't really getting to the big stuff. And the people who had more deeper things that they, that we really should be addressing, it was just a case of, we can't go there. So I wanted to look at something more. So that's what's led me on the journey to do more and more courses, because the more you learn, the more, powerful the therapy gets. So I went off and did a therapy that's specifically for trauma, but uses hypnotherapy as a modality. And that's been quite changing, not just for myself, but for my clients, because it's about healing those old wounds.
Yeah.
And when we do that, then we can really change how we respond in our everyday life.
It sounds like you're saying that awareness is one of the biggest keys here, that, you yourself went to learn these modalities and then only then realised there were things beneath the surface. So are you okay to share with us what does it look like on the outside looking in, these things that are pushed underneath? Like, how can we lift our level of awareness around problems that we've got?
I think one of the things is realising there's a pattern. So often patterns come up due to our unconscious core beliefs. So the moment that we're born, we're taking on ideas of who we are and how we fit in the world. So if we're having a difficult experience, then we start to take on ideas, and somehow it's not it's us that's causing the problem, or we're a nuisance, we're in the way, we're not good enough, we'll never be perfect. You need to be perfect to be safe. So we come up with all these ideas, but you're running that program without even realizing it. And then as you get older, sometimes you can say, hold on, these things keep happening to me, but I don't know why. And it's only when sometimes you get that little bit of aha moment, you think, oh, well, hold on a minute. This isn't happening to everybody else around me. This is just happening to me. Or this is, you just see a pattern or a problem. But you get to a point where you go, I can't keep, even if you don't know what it is, if you get to a point where you go, I can't keep doing what I'm doing, something needs to change, then there is something underneath. Yeah, there is something that keeps pulling you back. So sometimes it can be that we have a we know that there's trauma there because it's been so big and so overwhelming, and that can cause post-traumatic stress, as we're aware of. But sometimes it's lots of smaller things that have just built up. And our bucket, we start to get overwhelmed. We start to overreact to everyday situations that we really should be taking in our stride. And that's when we can go, hold on a minute, why am I getting so upset and angry about this thing? Then we can sort of start to say, there must be something else going on. It's time to look at it.
So it's about having that level of awareness, and then also maybe questions as well to go deeper. And so how is hypnotherapy and Creatrix and the things that you offer, how is that different than going to a talking therapy? How does that vary? Well,
often the talking therapies, we're just talking to our conscious brain, which is about 5% of who we are. So this type of therapy can be good for helping us to navigate, making decisions and things. But often what we need to do is actually deal with what's going on in our body. So I think of our unconscious as being our body. And it's often our feelings, our trauma, our emotions, guilt, regret, sadness. We hold on to that emotion like a stuck emotion within our body. And when we actually do work that engages the imagination, we actually can speak to that part, because our body is just a receptacle for information, and it runs a program according to the information it's been given. So if we can talk to the body, we can actually get rid and change some of those beliefs that we've had, because they're not necessarily the truth, but we can change them into something more positive that's actually going to help you in your life going forward.
Excellent. So this is putting the power back into the person that's got the challenge. It's saying that you've got the capacity to have that level of awareness, and that if you ask the right questions, you will know the answer, and to empower them not just to resolve that one particular issue, Carol, but for them to actually learn how to manage their other challenges so that they can be more efficient and effective moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of the things, it is always about empowerment, and it's about truth and trust within ourselves. Often enough, we're trying to solve our problems outside of ourselves, but we need to do the internal work to actually get long-term resolution. So, it is about empowerment, but it's also realizing that, you've got we get stuck in trauma. When we've been through something difficult, our body and mind hold on to it. it's a way of keeping ourselves safe. It's like the memory couldn't be put away properly. So in our body, it's like it's happening now. So even that might be a trauma that happened 20 years ago. When you close your eyes and think about it, that memory is like, it's there inside of us. So if we can actually remove the emotion from that past memory, we can actually take you back down to safe. So we find that when we take out some of these traumas, you actually become calmer and calmer and calmer. And when you get to calm, you cope with stress better anyway, because you're not looking out of your everyday problems through the lens of your past problems, because they're resolved and gone.
You've hit the nail on the head there, Carol. And one of the biggest challenges for girls that are going through domestic and family violence is to get some inner, aside from self-care and the others, but to get some inner calm, because you know, we're in a high stress survival environment where we are we're walking on eggshells, and we're in this flight and fright.
Absolutely. You're in survival mode.
We're in survival mode, and it's just hard to even digest your food and to make good choices for nutrition, and to sleep patterns, and you wake up and you're awake all night. It affects everything. So I love it, Carol, if you're okay to share with us some of a tool or a technique to help us bring our calm, because it is one of our biggest challenges. Do you have something you can share with us today about how to bring our calm?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to realize that we speak to other people really nicely. We'll say nice things, and if somebody's upset, we'll soothe them. If a baby cries, we rock and hold them, but we don't do it for ourselves. And it's really important that we can, because we can get stuck in our thoughts, and our thoughts can get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we catastrophize. So what we want to do is actually bring that nurturing back to ourselves, and hold ourselves actually as if you're holding a friend, and actually stroke yourself and just say, you're okay. I'm going to look after you. I'm going to take care of you. Nothing's going to happen. I'm going to keep you safe. And whatever loving words you need to hear. Because anxiety is, I'm not safe. So it doesn't matter, if it happened 5 minutes ago or 20 years ago, your body doesn't know the difference. It's got no time scale in your body. So if we think about something that might happen in the future, we immediately go, because we're remembering what happened in the past. So we need to soothe and say, okay, it's not happening now. You're okay. I've got you. You're safe. And really do that. And even give yourself a kiss. We think it's self-egotistic, and we don't want to be egotistic, because often it can feel like we're living with somebody that's egotistic, or that's somebody from our past who's been, dominant and what have you, and they love themselves, and I don't want to be like that. Well, you're not being like that by loving yourself. You are. It's the foundation of wellness, is actually having some self-respect and self-care and self-love. So we've just got to keep doing that for ourselves, because often we're looking for somebody else to give it to us, and we've got to give it to ourselves. So even in the shower, when you're washing, thank you arm. It's really good for chronic pain, is to turn down you're turning down your nervous system. Your nervous system goes into high alert. I'm not safe. You're bringing it back down, and you're just calming and soothing. So I love you arm. I love your body. Thank you. Just keep doing that self-loving, self-nurture, and that just helps you to go calm.
I love it a lot. I do indulge in self-care in the morning, and every time I put my body moisturizer on, as I rub it into that part of my body, I tell that part of my body how much that I love it. And
beautiful.
I've been doing that for a very long time, and it really has helped me not just calm. It's also, because it's now part of a routine, because I put a body moisturizer on every day, that I look forward to it, and I feel different afterwards too. And I find myself, if I'm in a stressful environment, I find if I'm in a meeting, I will find that I'm actually rubbing my legs.
Yes,
to calm myself down.
I do.
I do have to I just have to watch when I use that self-calming system. Sometimes it's not appropriate in a meeting.
Yes. There's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place for self-care, girls. So I love it. That is a fantastic tip. So now I understand that girls get to work with you with a strategy session. So, and that goes for 45 minutes. Can you maybe explain what a strategy session looks like? And I understand that you're offering that today for listeners for free. So I'd love to know a little bit more about a strategy session.
Yeah, so it goes around 45 minutes, often up to an hour, because I'm a chatterbox. And it gives us the opportunity to get to meet each other properly and to find a connection. So I think when you work with any therapist, you've got to make sure that you feel safe in their company, because if not, nothing's going to work. You have to be able to be open and to say the horrible things you've never wanted to say, so that we can get it out the open and deal with it. So we've got to have that good connection. So that's part of it. But also helping you understand your unconscious, the way that your unconscious works, why we think and feel the way we do, why we get patterns in the way that we do. So there's lots of education, and there's lots of ideas and thoughts about strategies of what we're going to do to take this forward. So really understanding the therapy that you're going to, if you'd like to work with me, what that involves, what your involvement is, why it might work, why it might not. So you get a complete utter understanding of what you're committing to, so that you can throw yourself in 100%. Because then I find that when we get that introduction session, people are like, now I get it. Now I know why this is going to work for me.
So would you cover more than one challenge, or do people come in to speak to you and they're just looking for, like, there's just one area of their life that they need fixed, or is it like how does it work?
Well, it actually covers quite a lot of things. So often people will come in to me with one issue, like I'm struggling to sleep, or I've got pain or something. But it's really impactful across the whole life. So the way that you think and react in everyday life just changes automatically. So I find that people get a whole range of changes, like pain reduces, sleep improves, the calmer, because we're all a pebble in a pond. So if we are calm and more patient and just feel that we're not overreacting and everything, then the people around us in our family, in our pond, automatically they change too. So you're more likely to parent differently, you're more likely to interact at work differently. If you're not stuck up here and you're back down at calm, then it has huge wide range things. The way that you think and feel about yourself, negativity, you're less likely to do emotional eating, or you're more likely to do self-care because you've got a new connection to yourself. So it's very wide. It's not just I've come in and fixed that one issue. I'm not saying that everything in your life is going to be fixed and it's the panacea to everything. That takes self-development work, but we're taking out the big boulders out of life. We're reconnecting with yourself so that you can come to calm, and then you can do the self-development stuff going forward, which I work with as well.
I love it. I love it so much. So after they work with you for the 45 minutes, and today, listeners, if you're listening, and even if you're watching the replay, guys, that Carol is offering that 45-minute strategy session for free, which is amazing to see if that you're a really good fit. How do we work with you moving forward, Carol?
So for people that have been through quite big stuff, especially violence and bullying, and that there could be a whole host of things that they've been through, it takes a few sessions. So usually what happens is we get together for the first session will be about 2 hours. They need to do a little bit of homework, which is a bit of a timeline. It's not going into depth. So we're not going to get stuck in story here. And then from that will be my template for what I use to actually create our sessions together. After that first session, you'll have a recording of a hypnosis part, which is about 45 minutes. And I must say a little bit about the hypnosis part is that people think that you're being controlled, but it's just about using your own rich imagination and just getting rid of the cognitive mind out of the way, so that you can, so that we can just speak to the body and just put out that chatter that goes on in your head. And then from there, they'll come back a week later and we have another session that's around 2 hours. Sometimes it can go on a little bit longer. And we actually take the emotion out of the past. So this is the main modality I use that I find is really powerful and very, very quick. And And so it's like you remember the past, a difficult incident, but you just remember it as an intellectual memory, not a physical memory. So we're actually taking the trigger out of it. And then when they come back another week later, then we can evaluate where they're up to and where we want to go. And at that point, I may decide to use different modalities, different little tools and things, just to help you get over that line to where you want to be. So I get people to write what they do want to get out of it. And often people come with a really wide range of different things, so that we can actually tick off and say, yep. So it's our roadmap to where you want to be.
That's fantastic. And I understand for our listeners today, you're offering an additional 10% off the package prices. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I try to meet people financially where they're at.
That's fantastic. Now, I understand that you're going to be working with us on the 22nd of May. I'm super excited. We'll be able to see you again in the
me too.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's going to be so good.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be offering on that free Pamper Day? What will you be offering for our participants?
Well, just a really nice, relaxing meditation, just about 5 minutes of just being able to really even just show you how you can relax your own. And we could even do a little recording and send it on if you want to put it straight onto your phone. So it's something you can listen to and just allow yourself to calm down and just get that feeling.
That's fantastic.
You can do for yourself.
I love it. I love it. And I have a question about Creatrix. So could you maybe explain, because most people know what hypnotherapy is, it's very well commercialized, if you've seen anything on television. So they've got a bit of connection to that. But Creatrix is something a little different. How can you maybe explain that a little bit and how you use that?
Creatrix is it's an eyes closed program, but it's specifically designed for women because women are very relational. So men are very they're very focused men. It's like when they're at work, they're at work. When they're at home, they're at home. But women put reference to everything. So when you're at work, you think about the kids and what you should be doing and blah, blah, blah. So we put meaning to everything. And often that meaning can be quite negative, and we can err on the side of negativity. So, and some of these ideas and thoughts aren't just what you've had. They're actually been passed down from generations in the past. So that comes to us in that we're repeating those patterns without even realizing what we're doing. So in Creatrix, we're actually able to change those stories and actually help you find your own insight and your own wisdom to solve your own problems. So with some of the hypnotherapy, it's very led, as in, this is what we're doing, this is the way we're going, and this is what's going to obviously individualize for you. It's a partnership. In Creatrix, it's very much about getting you into a space where you can actually resolve those problems really quickly and easily. So so that's really effective as well. There's so many wonderful techniques out there. I think hypnosis, it's not hypnosis itself, it's what you do in hypnosis that makes the difference. It's the therapy that you use in that space. And it's all about all the techniques are really about your own imagination. Yeah. And imagination can kill or cure you.
I love that it's about breaking family patterns. One of my favourite things to talk about. We hold ourselves in these patterns, and for those of you who believe in past lives, it's not necessarily something that you've experienced this life. It can be before. Yeah. So does Creatrix handle that if it's past life, or is it more family patterns?
I think it's anything really that is passed down the line. If it's a belief that you've got, it's come from somewhere. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's a past generation, a past life, but if it's not holding you, then let's change it. I believe our body and our unconscious only holds on to what it thinks is useful. Our unconscious wants to protect us. That's its job. Its body is to protect us. So if it's running a program, it thinks it's doing it for the good reason, because there's a good reason behind it. But when we can tap into our own intuition, our own knowledge without those filters, then we'll realize that those patterns no longer serve us, and then we'll be able to just take them, because our body will take on those new ideas that we found ourselves to actually take us forward.
I love it. I could talk to you all day. You're fascinating.
I can talk about this.
I know.
I can certainly talk about this stuff all day. So that's why my strategy sessions always go over, because I get so excited by it all.
I love it. I'm so looking forward to seeing you on the 22nd of May. It seems like forever since I've seen you face to face. Thanks, COVID. I'm looking forward to being in the same proximity as you. And I'm looking forward to, because if we're not too busy, I like to jump in and have a little session with everyone that's there. But usually, but I'm going to try to, because it'd be great to spend some quality time with you. We've got some amazing is there on the day. Thank you so much for offering your strategy session for free for the listeners today, and also the 10% off of the price of the packages, and also sharing that beautiful idea about how we can calm ourselves down and take ourselves out of that, flight and fight mode, and make ourselves feel good. I love that. So thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to the 22nd. And thanks, Carol.
Thanks so much. Thanks for.
Woo! So she slipped away just very quickly there, and that's because the other girls are going to jump on just super quickly, just to remind you about our amazing event coming up on the 22nd of May. We've got Ali is going to tell us a little bit more about the location, why this location is absolutely perfect for us on the day. And Rose, when I can get her attention, is going to talk to us about participants. So, Ali, can you go first and share with us just in a minute about the location that we've got the next event?
Absolutely, Charlene. So, yes, we are holding it at the 19 on Green Community Centre at Brompton. This is an amazing centre. It has recently, just before COVID hit, been renovated, and it is an absolutely stunning venue. We've got little rooms where we're putting all our different exhibitors into, and you'll be able to go and pick and choose who you would like to be pampered by. And speaking of which, we have a lot of different exhibitors coming in. So we've got people who are doing Reiki, chakra balancing, we've got tarot, hairstyling, makeup, meditations, as you heard. So much is happening, and this venue is actually perfect for our Pamper Day. So there is a lot of parking available on street, and it's also very close to public transport, which is perfect for the Pamper Day.
Oh, Ali, I'm so excited, and it's so central too, guys. So close to the city, it's close to public transport. So regardless of what your situation is, it will be great to have you there. And the exhibitors, of course, you'll have parking spaces. So Rose, could you tell us a little bit more about the people that are inclined to come, and they might be listening, or they might have a friend of the family that might be, fit into that category and looking to come on the day?
Yeah, well, the Pamper Day is for survivors, whether they are currently in a situation or they've come out the other side and they're still looking for, some, I guess, nurturing and some cuddles, and because we're all into hugs and everything, if we're allowed to. So they're the people that normally come to our Pamper Days. And and there'll also be a clothing stall there too. So for the ladies that who may be a little bit challenged with finding a suitable outfit to wear to court or for a job interview, we're giving away clothing items on the day. So that's just one of the facilities that will be on offer for the entire day. And Miss Maura Weir is she's an AM. She will be opening our event at 12 noon, and she will also be giving Welcome to Country.
It's so exciting, guys. But if you're here watching us today, and even watching the replay, you probably know that all of us individually, Rose, myself, and Ali, are survivors. And for some of us, it's recent, and for some of us, it's a long time ago. And we know what the journey is like. We know that when we were going through it, we needed someone there to support us. And even years and decades down the track, it is still nice to be in the proximity of people who get us. They know what we've been through, and they've got that empathy, that compassion and sympathy to help us move to the next space. And they're also a guiding light of what is actually possible when you stand in your own power and you move forward. So we are so proud to be offering this great opportunity to share it and pay it forward. And if you've got a friend of the family or you know someone, please share the link. The event is free. You need to register to come because we've got catering. So we're looking forward to sharing the love with you guys and continue to heal through love. Thanks for watching today.